The water quality in the Jukskei River in Alexandra has been a cause for concern in recent years due to high levels of pollution. The issue is in the spotlight as the global community marks World Environment Day. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali joins us on the banks of the Jukskei River. You've been moving around, haven't you, Veronica? You were at Kalspruit River in Tembisa. There's quite a lot of evidence of pollution on the banks of that river. What are you seeing at the Jukskei?
Well, Michelle, in fact, if anything, you could say that it's far worse. A report by the Department of Water and Sanitation revealed that between 1999 and 2011, South Africa's main river systems, which were classified as having poor ecological conditions, increased by 500%. In fact, some of them were beyond that point and beyond recovery. And that is where we find ourselves here at the Jukskei River, which is one of those rivers that were identified as that. It is a river that runs through Johannesburg and is one of the main rivers, but it has been polluted to the point of no recovery. In fact, when we were speaking to just some of the residents here about the ecological issues and the environmental impact, we asked them what are the main issues in regards to this river. It's obviously, Michelle, the issue of litter, the issue of scattering rubbish over here. I can just ask my colleague Makhoali just to show you really just the extent of just how badly the river has been polluted. We come across so many various things within this water, within this natural resource, Michelle, from blankets to clothes to plastics, containers, and just in the distance you can see, of course, just the kind of environment in which the residents are living here. On the one side, you have those that have placed their homes right on the banks of the river. As we've been standing here this afternoon, we've seen people come through and just throw their rubbish away. Some, of course, speaking of the fact that they don't get necessarily consistent municipal services in terms of that waste collection, and so they resort to this into a rubbish dump. But just on the other side, you see that growth of nature. You see the way in which natural resources are being impacted by this supposed human behavior and what we do. But really also just speaking to the residents, we also got a sense that there is really a lack of understanding environmental impact. And as you were continuing to speak to our colleagues, Sipakema and Nobuche, of course, covering those disasters in the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, this area in Alexandra, Squetla, right across here is, no stranger to those kind of disasters. We were speaking to residents who are telling us about how this river often floods and washes away their homes. And this is because of the amount of rubbish and litter that has clogged up this river stream. Often when there are heavy rains, you'll find that the river stream swells, and this then goes into the homes of people, and others telling us, of course, that the rubbish in fact is what towers over their houses, and that the mop-up operations are not usually just to get water away, but it's also actually to clear their homes of the rubbish that is here. You can see just as well from just standing here on the riverbank that there are mountains and mountains of piles of rubbish. But really, Michelle, this speaks to the lack of understanding from just some of the residents that we had to speak to about the environmental impact of this. While they are saying that there are no services provided to them, while many of them are saying that they are forced to live in these conditions, it seems as though efforts to clean up this riverbank is often falling on deaf ears, with some saying that they feel no responsibility to clearing up this area because they found it like this. While we've also been standing here, there have been children that have been playing alongside this riverbank, picking through the rubbish. So you can also just understand not only is it an environmental hazard, but it's also a health and safety issue for the young children that reside in this community. But of course, Michelle, this is not only just one river system that shows that need for environmental efforts to come together to clear the rivers. It's obvious that this is one of the rivers that fall in the department's category as it not being able to be recovered. But there is still a very desperate need from residents to understand environmental impact, of course, as the world observes World Environmental Day.
Veronica Makhoali, thanks very much indeed for that. And the issue, of course, is that the solutions to what you've just described are not as easy as perhaps we hoped they would be. Veronica's live to us there from the Jukskei River.